What's going on, guys? This is Mr. DeLorean here. Welcome back to a brand new video. And today what we want to do is take a look at and review the new Walking Dead spin-off comic, Negan Lives. Now, a little background information on this comic. Negan Lives was a big announcement made by The Walking Dead Twitter that Robert Kirkman and Charlie Adlin were coming back to make a 36-page Walking Dead spin-off comic to show us comic fans and show fans what happened to Negan after issue 193. Since we really never got to see, Negan, we got to see a bit of a silhouette or kind of one shot, not really too much of him, but we got to see one last shot, which wasn't really much. But this is to pretty much show us what happened after then and what was going on with Negan and what's going to happen after. This was also to support the local comic shop, since of course because of the virus and everything and how they're not able to get much business. So at the moment this is actually a comic book store exclusive, which is really good and everything to do for the comic shops. I think a good way to support them, because after a full year of not getting Walking Dead comics, people are gonna be fucking rushing to their local comic shop to get these new comics. So yes, at the moment this is currently a comic shop exclusive until some dick decides to sell on eBay for $1 million, but which I doubt. Holy shit. And it only came out July 1st, and also it's a one-off comic, but maybe not, but we'll discuss that later. So let's go over kind of a tiny breakdown first of what this comic is. So yes, it's titled Negan Lives, and it takes place after issue 193. Now a lot of people were thinking that this would take place after issue, I think, 174, after Maggie is about to kill Negan, but then she kind of just leaves him. But there is a panel in this comic that is shown in issue 193, pretty much showing that this takes place pretty much after issue 193, or just right around that sweet spot. But let's first go over the title and the cover, which we already did go over a bit and everything in my announcement video for this comic, but let's re-go over it. So the cover for this comic is extremely high quality. It's very well drawn. I actually love how it looks. You have the badass Negan and everything, kind of just giving his bit smirk and everything and his grin. You kind of blood splatter all over him, signifying he's going for some kills and everything with some walkers, which is really badass. And also just the title, just everything about this cover, the leather jacket, him kind of in the position of holding Lucille and everything, at least it looks like it. Badass Negan with his grin and everything. Yet again, the title, awesome title and everything. Negan Lives, showing us, giving us that confidence that, he didn't fucking die. Also, a really cool detail that they put in the cover, or at least for the title at least, is you can see in the G, if you see Lucille, which I know this is something that everyone's been pointing out, but I think it's a really cool detail. Also, kind of, if you guys did get this comic or anything day one, or if you guys didn't or anything, if you didn't, don't worry, it'll obviously go back on sale in comic shops like a lot of limited edition shit does. But if you got it or anything, just the comic in general feels extremely high quality. It doesn't feel like the normal Walking Dead comics where it feels like just paper, and that's probably because it's 36 pages, and I'm not sure how long the usual Walking Dead comics are, but this is extremely high quality and just feels really good. It has a bit of weight to it. But now let's dive into a bit of a breakdown into what happens in this comic, and this is gonna be a very brief, quick breakdown. So the comic kind of starts off with Negan looking down at something, and he's kind of giving a bit of a grin. He's kind of giving a bit of a speech, kind of like classic early Negan did when he was giving speeches to people just before he killed them, and just going, oh, you guys are gonna be shitting yourselves, and oh, you have your shitting pants on, you guys are so dead. But it turns out he's talking to flowers, because obviously he's so alone. The man's gone fucking insane, and you can see he's grabs some flowers and he's very depressed, and he goes pretty much to Lucille's grave, where he gives a pretty nice speech and everything. It's a very nice to kind of see just a different side of Negan, just away from society and everything. It's just nice in general. I really like the speech he gave, but he pretty much gives a speech to Lucille's grave, but then he gets kind of angry because obviously he's so alone, and he's I'm talking to a bat and everything. It's just really cool. But next he goes inside to pretty much I'm pretty sure lock up for the night. It's really hard to tell what time of day it is, but before he can even turn off the lights or anything, or lock the doors, we get kind of this tiny silhouettes of someone behind him, and it's a woman. It's pretty much at first he thinks it's a ghost, because obviously why wouldn't he, just a random person showing up on his property. he probably thinks he's going insane. But surprisingly enough, it's this woman named Lucy, and it's so weird. He's completely shocked by who the hell this is. And at first he doesn't believe she's real and everything until, like, you know, he kind of gets like, oh my god, she is real and everything. But kind of later on and everything, they kind of have a bit of a dinner where they kind of just start to talk about stuff, and they just talk to each other and just kind of get to know each other. But Negan doesn't seem like he's having too much of a good time until Lucy gets very close to him and everything, and they kind of start getting very close, you know, to each other. But just as they're getting really nice to each other and everything, Negan says, you are not alone. I can't believe that you're just someone who's just popping up into my life and everything and just being very nice to me. You're not alone. Where's your group of people that are gonna like hurt me or kill me and everything? She gets very confused and tries to convince Negan that she's alone until people, like in this entire group of about pretty much 2 people and everything, it's not really like that big of a group, comes up and pretty much like assaults him and kicks him to the ground or anything. Lucy actually starts, oddly enough, begging them not to kill Negan. I think because she says he's like, you know, actually very nice. But weirdly enough, they don't kill him. They just kind of start going like, you know, oh, dig this hole and everything. Dig like up whatever this is. Like, why do you have a grave right here? Just dig him up. I'm assuming to be just like to play this really fucked up game with Negan's head. But pretty much like, you know, they're all like, oh, who is this person or anything? And Negan starts going, oh, it's a bat. And they start kind of laughing, saying like, oh, I gotta see this, kind of making fun of him. And Negan's just saying, like, you guys might as well kill me and everything. I want you to kill me because obviously, like, I'm alone out here. But then just before Negan can start, like, or just before if anything, they could, like, kill him or he could dig any further, walkers come up and start attacking the group and everything and pretty much kill both the guys and bite them. And Negan pretty much, like, you know, takes advantage of this moment and starts killing the guys with the, like, you know, the shovel that he has. And pretty much starts stabbing them, trying to cut one of the guys in half, which is really funny. And he pretty much starts, like stabbing this guy in his chest with, like, the shovel, going, come on, can I split you in half? And in general, it's just a really funny moment, but it's also very scary, especially from the girl's perspective, who is just watching this in absolute horror. And Negan's going on this like maniacal rant saying, why won't you guys kill me? Why does everyone always give me the chance to just fight back and everything? I want people to kill me, just end me my life and my suffering of being alone. But pretty much the girl finally asks from a distance once Negan's done with his maniacal rant, just says, are you gonna kill me and everything? Because obviously she's probably like, am I next? But then Negan says, pretty much confirms to her that he's not gonna kill her, and he starts telling her who truly is in the grave and why, like what the bat truly means to him and everything, telling her about his wife, and pretty much saying, I never truly buried her because, you know, obviously she's just rotting somewhere. I never had the guts to kill her and truly, like, you know, put her down, give her peace. But then Negan offers her to come along with him to truly go and find Lucille and bury her, like, you know, her actual corpse. But then the girl's kind of like, oh, you really want me coming with you after that stunt and everything? And he's like, you know, why not and everything. But then we get one last epic and badass and funny shot of the comic where pretty much Negan's like, well, don't you want to see what happens next, which is the end of it, but is it really? So pretty much, let's hop in, before we hop into the letter hacks of this and everything and break down that section, let's kind of hop into a bit of the review first. So the story of this issue, or more of so just this one-off, in big quotes, comic, I thought the story was personally really good. It just gave us a really good look into what Negan's going through, kind of how he's very lonely. It's very interesting to see how kind of we get to see a bit of old Negan, kind of like how he's like, you know, talking down the flowers, and I thought that was very funny. It's a very entertaining issue in general, especially with, like, you know, the introduction of the girl. I thought that was a very good, like, thing to introduce into the comic, because it kind of gave Negan a bit of a new person to talk to. And I want to get this out of the way just before anyone makes any speculations on this and I think, could I see them together? Maybe. If he just, like, you know, moves on past Lucille and, like, tries to, like, you know, be happy, I could actually see that, and I would actually like to see that, because Negan's been kind of a bit of a hard-ass mopey character, and I would like to see him genuinely happy and, like, you know, just that. But also, like, you know, having the threat of those people and everything, and just kind of, like, you know, I guess some already known backstory and everything, but having that threat of those, like, you know, that group, I thought that was very entertaining and added a lot of entertainment value. And then the ending of kind of, like, you know, him saying, I want to go find Lucille, come with me and everything, and you want to see what happens next. I thought that was a very cool and just good ending. But also, I feel like it's, and this is kind of getting into, I guess, off of review grounds, but I feel like it might be getting into a or like this might be a new series. Now, this is also kind of getting into the letter hacks and everything, but Robert Kirkman does mention that, like, you know, maybe we, like, you know, is his story over? I don't think, let me kind of go into it a little bit. Robert Kirkman, the letter hacks, pretty much goes, I don't know if we'll truly ever see what happens next, and he says, like, probably never, or never say never, and he says probably never, probably. And I feel like there's so many directions they could take this comic in. Like, there's so many things that they could do. Like, to see Negan as the new face of the Walking Dead comics, I feel like I would genuinely like that, because to kind of just, like, put a rest to the old group and everything, or maybe in, like, some cameos would be nice and everything. Like, it'd be cool. But I think to put Negan as the new face of the Walking Dead would be a very interesting, and I feel like there's so much potential, like, to, like, you know, do. Like, have Negan, you know, maybe one day form his own new group and everything and be kind of like the new Rick Grimes. Maybe. I'm not sure if you would like that, but it'd be interesting. It's just some early concepts and everything. But I feel like there's so many, like, maybe he runs into a group with, like, you know, conflicts. But more so back to the point of, like, you know, do I think there will be another, like, you know, issue of this? I really do, because I feel like there's, like I said, so much potential. So many people would like it. And it'd be also another great way to support comic shops and everything. If he could think, if Robert Kirkman and Charlie Adlard can think of more, like, you know, stories, I feel like it has potential to just continue. And I feel like me and, like, a ton of others would actually like it. Also, at the end of the letter hacks, I'm not sure, it was kind of a bit of a joke, which I might make a separate video on, but he puts P.S. Clementine lives, which is what he put at the end of another issue. I think issue 193 saying Negan lives, which led to this. But it turns out that when he put Negan lives, he didn't actually plan to make, like, you know, this comic and everything, which was a bit of an interesting fact that I thought I'd let you guys know about. But do I think there will be a Clementine, you know, comic separate from the game and everything? Maybe. I think it would be a really cool idea and everything to extend on the Walking Dead universe and, you know, give that and everything like a new kind of story. I would actually like that. But do I think it will happen? I don't know. I'm betting more on, like, you know, this Negan comic and everything in series to continue, which I would personally love. Also, this comic did sell in gold, well, silver and gold. This is kind of a bit of, like, you know, away from the review, but this comic sold in, like, you know, silver and gold editions, which at first I thought, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick up at least, like, you know, the normal and the gold edition, or maybe all three. But turns out the upper editions were $300, which I'm not gonna complain, because obviously, you know, if you have the money and you're a true, like, you don't need to own those editions, but if you're a true collector, which I consider myself everything, but, you know, it's to support the shops. I think I completely understand why they're, you know, that much. Also, one kind of last thing that I wanted to, like, review is the artwork inside this issue. I do think, like, it's not extremely different from, like, you know, the average Walking Dead comics and everything, but I do think it looks genuinely good, and I love the artwork. Like, I really do like all the drawings and how everything's drawn out. But that was kind of a review and tiny breakdown for Negan Lives. This was truly an amazing comic, and like I said, I really do want to see what goes on, like, you know, what happens next. And I feel like with, like, you know, enough thought into it and everything, and it has this extreme potential, I feel like it could continue. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Would you guys like to see more of, like, you know, what happens next with Negan and this girl and everything, and see more of, like, you know, Negan Lives? Which is one last thing I want to, like, you know, take on and everything, is I wonder if the whole series will be called Negan Lives, or if this is just the title for the first. I'm not sure. I can see them wanting to move away from, like, you know, the title of The Walking Dead, maybe go on Negan Lives, which, you know, I'm fine with it. But yeah, make sure to leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Like I said, amazing issue and everything. I highly recommend picking it up from your local comic shop to support them and everything. But yeah, make sure to let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more of the latest in the Walking Dead universe, and maybe more on some, like, you know, other comics, or maybe even more in the Walking Dead comics if another does come out. I'll make sure to notify you guys first if that does happen. And I'll see you guys later, my amigos, and peace out.